Hello there, my very good friends. On this news video, Seth Rollins just got a pretty big upgrade, in my opinion.
A big update on Big Bronson Reed.
You literally will never guess why New Jack is in WWE 2K25.
And Scott Steiner shoots on Hulk Hogan. I'm Adam Wilborn.
It's very funny.
It is.
It's very funny.
This is the after news.
All right, bit of a silly video this. All of the stories are pretty silly.
Yes.
So the tone will be adjusted appropriately for that. First of all, let's talk about Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Looks like WWE have changed his name.
What?
He's now called Chef Rollins. Crazy move. No, somebody noticed on Reddit yesterday that previously Seth Rollins was listed on the WWE roster page on WWE.com as Seth FREAKIN Rollins, of course. Now, he's just Seth Rollins. They got rid of the FREAKIN, baby. So now, he's the freaking Joker, baby,
yes.
I guess. So, FREAKIN, it wasn't just a nickname, it was officially part of his ring name. Seth Rollins, that's an incomplete thing. His middle name is FREAKIN, apparently. So looks like they've made that change. It's a pretty minor one, right? It's a pretty minor one on surface level. All they've done is get rid of a little thing in the middle. But I would say it's an upgrade. I mean, it's not that it's like this game-breaking problem, but it was kind of corny.
It was one of those things that they added and you went, what? And then you just got used to it after about 4 weeks, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he's Seth freaking Rollins. I think they did a thing as well when it was the build to the steel cage on Raw on Monday night. They did say who's the best in the freaking world. Yeah. Maybe that was the last. He won that, but they were like, we've got to take the freaking away. He didn't win it fairly. Yeah. Roman pulled you out of the cage, basically.
Does that mean that the freaking was removed when he was removed from the cage?
Or maybe he lost it. Maybe he just was like looking through his look. Where's the freaking?
They should have had a match for the rights to freaking.
Yes.
CM freaking Punk. Who's the funniest person that could be freaking?
Our freaking truth.
Our freaking truth.
Chad freaking Gable's quite good.
Chad freaking Gable's not bad. Freaking Penta.
Pen freaking tur. Yeah, well, so it's up for grabs now. Maybe that's what one of the matches. You know, they're going to do some multi-man matches at WrestleMania. One of the matches will just be for the freaking.
Triple freaking.
Freaking hung above the ring. Who can get to it first? Yes, something to nothing, this isn't it really? I always think when these sort of things happen, particularly around this time of year, those poor bastards at 2K, there we go, perfect new game, release it this week, 2K20. You've done what?
Yeah, you've changed someone's name. You've released half our roster. Yeah. What are you doing? It's good stuff. I think it's fun.
New freaking Jack is good.
New freaking Jack. The freaking Deacon. Who's the freaking Deacon? That was
Batista. Devon, I don't know.
He had his little collection box. Batista, what a guy, man.
Yeah.
He was Leviathan before he was a vampire.
He was.
A muscular vampire.
Terrifying, man.
Yeah. He's had a few strange gimmicks, old Batista, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I love Batista, man.
John freaking Cena would be good as well. Yeah. I'm having that now.
John JFC. Boom, boom, boom. Jesus F and Christmas. Yeah, this is crazy. What a weird world we're in, where we're grown men talking about removing the word freaking from someone's name.
As part of a name change. But yeah, it's just cleaner, isn't it, Seth Rollins?
Cleaner, easier.
People are still going to say it when he says, I am the revolutionary. I am Seth. Or he'll just leave a gap now. I am the revolutionary. I am Seth Rollins.
There you go. He's funny. I figured out this morning that Seth Rollins is like 2 degrees removed from Danhausen. In terms of, like, they've got the similar all this. The differences are that he's not very evil. Seth Rollins is not an evil guy. And he also...
I miss Danhausen.
Me too, man. I wish he was just doing weird stuff.
I hope he's doing something over Mania weekend. Really like that guy.
Me too, actually. I'm going to look that up afterwards. I would love to see Danhausen throwing teeth at people and stuff.
But Andy, if you're missing your freaking from your life, well, let WhatCulture provide it as part of our world tour. Do join us as part of it. We're heading all over the UK and then, to Las Vegas ahead of WrestleMania weekend. We're going to be at the HyperX the Friday night before WrestleMania for our SmackDown watch along. Huge screen. Come and watch SmackDown with us. There's going to be a live ups and downs from Simon Miller. Me and Hamlet are going to do a big WrestleMania preview. We're going to get on the beers with everybody, of course. And meet and greets are included as part of everything with our live shows. Prior to that, alongside all the WWE shows that are going on across Europe, we are hitting Manchester, Belfast, and Glasgow in like a week and a bit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
crazy.
Join us for those.
Sneaks up.
It's going to be so much fun. We're really excited. We've been planning loads of stuff for it. If you want to come to that show, whatculture.com/tickets is the place you need to head to. And you also need to head to dice.fm because you need to get your tickets for the show that's going on after all these events we're talking about. I'm talking, of course, of Sweet Chin Disco. It is the best wrestling club night that there is. It is going to be me, my new best friend, Mark Henry, and occasionally Joe Hendry on some of the dates that we're hitting as well. We're doing even more dates as part of Sweet Chin Disco, not just the shows I talked about there. We're also hitting Nottingham on the weekend that we're playing Belfast. On the Sunday, we're going to Nottingham for Sweet Chin Disco. And then the week after, when SmackDown is in London, we'll be doing a show there. And then the day after that, we're in Birmingham as well. More details on that, dice.fm, as I said. But yeah, the What Culture live show, the world tour goes on next week. Get your tickets right now, whatculture.com/tickets.
And from what I understand, Mark Henry is a big music guy.
He is.
So these sets are going to be insane.
He's DJing. He's not just like turning up and waving at everybody. He's DJing. Yeah. And I don't think he's got it in him to hit me with the world's strongest slam, but we'll see. I'm looking.
He might. You don't test him. He might get you.
I'm looking into buying a salmon jacket. That's all I'm saying. Right, that is going to be a big show. And speaking of big Bronson Reed. A bit of an update on him, according to PW Insider. Bronson Reed spotted. I always think there's people out there with like binoculars outside the performance center or wherever they do their rehab or whatever. He was spotted in Birmingham, Alabama, getting an update basically on his recovery timeline after the ankle surgery he got in early December after his amazing performance in War Games, of course. Unclear yet as to when he's going to be back. Presumed sort of around May, all going well. Wish him well in his recovery. I'm really excited about Bronson Reed coming back because, I mean, that man really made a name for himself in 2024. Yeah. He was someone who I enjoyed in NXT and I could see playing a role for WWE on the main roster that was just kind of there. Mm-hmm. And then he just exploded with that feud and the attack, obviously, on Seth Rollins and went from strength to strength, really, there, feuding with Braun Strowman, of course, and then being involved in War Games. Get well soon. Horrible injury, obviously, for him to suffer. But yeah, all sounds promising. Get well soon to big Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed is a real one.
He is.
I think that...
He's great on X, isn't he?
He is. He's a good X follow. I think that, okay, so the injury is it's a complicated matter, right? He's 300-pound dude, jumped off the top of a cage, he broke his feet. That's not cool.
No.
He's a 300-pound man who jumped off the top of the cage. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet. Look, obviously, it's bad that he's out, and I wish him all the best in his recovery.
Mania,
yeah, it sucks, right? Obviously, at its core, this thing sucks. But I'm willing to bet that if you asked Bronson Reed, would you do that splash again, he would say yeah.
Yeah, it's a moment in Survivor Series
history.
He's
a real one. He's a real one. He went after it, and you know, he obviously got hurt. And it's bad, and I've missed him because like his little run, it was like 6 or 7 months after the Seth Rollins destruction angle with the tsunamis. It was like, this is incredible. I can't take my eyes off this. Him and like, I remember a photo that he just posted after he linked up with the Bloodline on Twitter, a photo of him and Bronson. No, he's Bronson Reed. Him and Jacob Fatu wearing shades, and they were like, it was like 2 of America's most wanted. And
what
I was
a tag team that'd be. By the way,
like, give them the belts.
Yeah. Jesus.
Give them the belts and squash those guys at DIY. See you later, boys. Bye-bye.
I'd hardcore Holly book him right there. I haven't beat everybody.
Beat everybody, brother. It would be so awesome. Actually, oh my God, imagine if they went after the War Raiders.
Jesus. Them and the Creed brothers would be so much fun as well.
Okay, they need to move to Raw and be a tag team.
Yeah, sorry, Jacob. I know that singles push is going quite well for you. But we changed the plan.
Sorry, Chief. We'll get back to the singles push.
And this is officially an invite to Bronson Reed. If he's around WrestleMania weekend, unfortunately, obviously, he's not going to be working it. But if he's going to be there, I hope he does show his face. Want to be a part of the big show of the year. Open invite, Bronson Reed. I will happily do a shoey with you at our live show in the HyperX.
That's the thing. He seems like a really cool guy as well. Come through, Bronson Reed. Don't tsunami anyone.
Yeah. Jump off the HyperX screen. He can jump off the HyperX screen. There you go. Test the ankle.
Hey, yo,
get
why
well
not?
Soon, mate.
Give it a go. Yeah, but get well soon. I've loved Bronson Reed, and I miss him.
Yeah,
I miss him.
Me too.
Hope those feet and those ankles are tightening up.
Right, I have to know this story about New Jack. What on earth is this?
Yeah, right. So the DLC for WWE 2K, the game's out on Friday. Mm-hmm. If you pre-ordered the Deadman edition, you have it already. But the retail normal general release is out on Friday.
Yeah.
They recently announced a bunch of DLC packs. Mm-hmm. Some of them are a bit weird. I think one of them is like Great Khali and free NBA players.
Of course.
And Abyss. Abyss is in there, which is cool because
That is awesome.
TNA name, but he works for WWE as a writer. There's another one that has like a bunch of NXT names. The Motor City Machine Guns are in one of them. Some people who maybe missed the cut. The most interesting inclusion for me was New Jack.
Yeah.
I looked at this and went, what? The most controversial American wrestler of his generation, if not of all time. A man who once said on Smoky Mountain Wrestling TV, shout out to OJ Simpson, keep up the good work. And obviously, Mass Transit, all Gypsy Joe, these things, you know about these controversies. He's in a WWE game.
Yeah.
WWE's a PG company. Where did this come from?
Indeed.
Whose idea was this? You might think, well, Bully Ray's kind of got his ear in WWE these days.
Yeah.
He's an ECW guy, maybe him. Maybe one of the old school guys who's like, recognize New Jack. He is
Heyman.
He is a unique... Heyman, obviously. Why didn't I go to him first? Nick Khan. The president of the most powerful man in wrestling, literally. Nick Khan, at the end of the day, is sitting in his corner office in Stamford. It's 9:30 at night. He's had a hard day, meetings, firing people, meeting sponsors, all these things. He's been in there since 5 a.m. He's kicking back, Nick Khan. He's kicking off the $50,000 loafers. He's unbuttoning that suit jacket that cost $200,000, taking off the Rolex. He's got a nice crystal glass and he's filling it with 200-year-old scotch that he stole from Hamish Macbeth himself. And he's hitting play on a New Jack compilation on YouTube. This is according to PW Insider.
Yeah.
They spoke with Brian Williams, who's one of the producers of WWE 2K, and he said the following. New Jack was a shock to all of us on the visual concepts and marketing side. New Jack was someone who I never expected would make it into our franchise. It's funny because it was actually Nick Khan who recommended that we add New Jack as DLC. When I heard that information from my marketing rep, I was like, really? And they were like, oh yeah, he's a big fan. So there you go. Nick Khan is a New Jack, Mark. This is hilarious. I love it.
It's just wild, isn't it? Like you say, you picture the scene. He's got his little thing on his desk. Sarah, can you bring me up a coffee, please? Actually, Sarah, make that a tea and get me 3 names of fan favourites that I can fire this week. And get me in touch with the 2K guys. I want New Jack in the 2K game, please. What?
What's going on?
Are you going to give me 50 guesses as to who was behind this, and I would have not said Nick Khan?
I wonder if because it's Nick Khan, and he's very powerful man. People think Triple H is the most... No, Nick Khan's the most powerful man in wrestling. If it's him, and he's a mover and a shaker, can he get natural born killers in the game? Can Nick Khan do that?
Oh, yeah, he's got the power.
Imagine if in 2K25 you could play as New Jack and beat people up while that's still playing. Oh my goodness.
That'd be insane.
It's the best wrestling game of all time.
You could finally do what everyone's called out for as well and finally do the move that people have said needs to happen or needed to happen back in the day, and that's give New Jack the 24/7 title, right?
People have been calling it for years and years.
Imagine playing as New Jack in like career mode.
Rolling up Gronkowski to win the
New Jack joins the bloodline. What?
Why not?
New Jack versus the dead man. I think dead man might respect the business a bit more after that.
New Jack versus Johnny Gargano or something. It's insane. But 2K out this week.
You can do intergender matches on the new 2K, can't you, as well?
You can. Big feature. We have a bunch of content coming on 2K25. Yes. We have a review coming. We also have a bunch of stuff on the website that Jamie Kennedy's working on. So check all that stuff out. Check out the game. It looks like it's going to be another banger.
Yeah, so. there was a great advert I saw for 2K in yesterday's Ups and Downs for Raw with some interesting characters. Rey Mysterio, John Cena, The Rock. Worth checking out Ups and Downs if you haven't seen it from yesterday.
Beastie Boys. Yep.
Another week, Andy, another Chris Van Vliet interview that has just provided us with so much entertainment. Shout out to Chris Van Vliet, as always. Hopefully see you over WrestleMania weekend, mate. But this time it's Scott Steiner. Not normally known for controversial statements, Scott, of course. Likes to keep himself to himself and keep his cards close to his chest, apart from, when Simon Miller is chatting to him at a wrestling event and asking him about Stephanie McMahon, and then he kind of lets loose a little bit. But...
yeah, he said he'll see her next Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. The legendary wrestling veteran spoke to Chris Van Vliet on his podcast, which is available right now, well worth checking out. He talks about a variety of different things. He talks about Steiner math, talks about his son Brock signing a WWE NIL deal, and he talked about his run in WCW and the origins of Big Papa Pump. I also like this phrase. Steiner noted how he was a happy-go-lucky kid when he first joined the business. Can't picture that, to be perfectly honest. But soon learned about all the BS of professional wrestling, backstage politics, and, surprise, surprise, he's relating it to Hulk Hogan here, saying that was a real thing back then. The older guys keeping the younger guys down. In WCW, really? When I said that I got beat in my first match after turning heel, that call was made by Hulk Hogan to have me beat. So the reason I knew that was because somebody was in the vicinity of talking to him. Chris Van Vliet, quite rightly, asks more for Scott's opinion on the Hulkster. And let's say he didn't hold back, and I'll try my best to whoever's editing this news.
Is there a beep is there a button I can press every time you swear? That might make this fun. Not boring.
Try that one there.
Okay. Right, I'll need a bit of warning.
Okay. He's a mother.
Egg.
There's no other way I can say it. He's a piece of
egg.
We did a Nitro in Buffalo, and I knew I had to wrestle per se, but 10 minutes before the show went on air at 10 to 8, I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. We had to wait until Hogan got to the building and say it. You could... before you could do what was written down. So yeah, Scott Steiner hates Hulk Hogan and believes he's to blame for holding many people down, which isn't a great surprise, to be honest. It's
becoming a bit of a running segment on this show. If there's a funny Hulk Hogan burial doing the rounds, we will do it in story number 4. And who better to showcase than Scott Steiner? I saw Chris asked him about Steiner math as well.
Yeah.
He said apparently it checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he got a professor to check it or something.
I've got that Scott Einsteiner shirt with it written across the back, and it adds up, yeah.
There you go. So, fun stuff. Hogan's fun to bury, man.
Yeah.
He is fun to bury. Look, he's one of the most important wrestlers of all time. He's also a complete buffoon. He said the M-word on a sex tape. Like, if that doesn't condemn you to a life of... being buried, I don't know what does.
Done. Yeah, absolutely. But another great Chris Van Vliet interview. Do go and check it out. Don't listen to the podcast so much. Check it out on his YouTube channel because, the podcast shots kind of belong to us, Chris. And when it comes to you taking on us, all I've got to say to you is...
You got a journalism for that? You got to be joking me.
So
what did that even say?
I miss the Iconics so goddamn much.
Egg. Why did they let us loose in this studio?
Exactly. Why did they give me a soundboard? If you like that sort of thing.
Who's this guy?
WhatCulture Wrestling Podcast. I don't know. He's kept quiet today, but he's a very helpful guest on the podcast. Shout out to Microphone. It's a feud starting right there.
Took a bump.
But let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And while you're at it, we did a morning news video in this studio as well, didn't we, Andy?
And you can check that out right here. Look at that. There's actually enough room between us to fit the whole video.
Yeah, wow. Click
studio.
it.
Quality. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean it.
Bye.
Bye. Egg.